this one crop is something I never have to buy. And I'm pretty proud of that fact. This is garlic, and I am 100% self-sustainable with my garlic. I don't have to buy it because I can grow plenty of this, and it's incredibly easy, but people just do not seem to thrive growing garlic, and it's just because they don't know when to plant it or what to do with it. So in today's video, we're going to talk about varieties of garlic, when to plant garlic, how to have the best yields and have the best results with your garlic harvest. So we're going to get into it today, and I'm excited you're here. Welcome to the Food, Farm, and Finance channel. I'm Austin. Let's get talking garlic. So this particular variety of garlic, as you can tell, the cloves are huge. I mean, this is this is one clove, and that down there is one clove as well. And these cloves weigh about what a typical head of garlic would weigh, just one little clove. Now, this is actually closer to the leek family than it is to garlic, but I plant it and I grow it just like I would garlic. And that's what I want to share about today, is growing garlic. This just happens to be what I grow the most of and have a lot of success with, but I grow other varieties of garlic too. The reason this one's so particularly special to me is my family has been growing this same garlic, using this seed garlic right here, these seeds, and I just planted my batch out in November right now, for 4 generations. So I think actually technically I'm the 5th generation. So this garlic came overseas with us from the Western world. I guess we are the Western world, but from Europe. And I think that's just really cool that my family has been using this variety of garlic for as long as they can remember. And I think that's really something special. There is another smaller garlic variety as well that has come over, and it just doesn't thrive as well here in my growing zone, and we're going to talk a little bit about why that is and get into it. So the first thing you really need to know when you're going to plant your garlic is, when do you even plant garlic? Well, the simple answer is you plant your garlic in the fall. Lots of people will say you can plant garlic in spring, and that is true. You can plant out an early batch in early spring, and typically you can get a clove, like a head of garlic that looks a bit like this, but really dependent on where you're located, how early in the spring you're going to plant it. For consistent and good garlic heads like this, they need a period of cold, a chill period. So to do so, it's pretty much guaranteed you need to plant it in the fall to consistently get a good garlic harvest. So it's really not any harder to plant it in the fall than it is to plant it in the spring. Just plant it out, and you don't have to do anything with it all winter long. You can just literally let it hang out in your garden. I have a garden bed over there that's filled with it. You can't tell because there's not even top growth yet. And it just will thrive and hang out over winter. It might die back a little bit from some super cold freezes, but it will come back strong. It'll focus on growing those root zones, and then the leaves will keep growing when the weather warms up. So you need that period of cold to have success with your garlic. So plant it out in the fall. Now, if you're in a really cold zone, what that really means is you need to plant it out at least 4 weeks before your ground freezes. So you need to make sure that ground is workable to get the garlic in. For me, I'm in a pretty warm zone, zone 7A in Tennessee. So for me, that means I'm planting out my garlic pretty much right now, November, which is usually a couple weeks after my first frost date. But we usually have a little cold pocket, and then it warms back up, and then we have another cold pocket. So usually I plant out my garlic in that second little warm blip before the cold really starts settling in. So that is the best time to plant garlic. You're going to wait to harvest garlic until spring, early summer, and the best way to know when to harvest garlic is you're going to look at the leaf structure. The leaf structure is going to let you know. In the spring, I'll be sure and post videos on how we harvest garlic here. What you really need to know is how we're setting you up to succeed and what you need to do before you plant it. But just as a quick little overview, the best time to harvest garlic is typically in my area in June, and you're looking for the top half of the plants on the leaves to be bright green and the bottom half to be dry. And the reason you're doing that is because each set of leaves is going to represent a layer of these papers. And the more layer of paper you have, the longer your garlic bulbs are going to last in storage. But if you leave them too long in the ground, the papers start to rot. So what you're trying to do is find the delicate balance of having enough leaves that you have lots of papers, but not leaving it so long that all the papers start rotting in the ground. So you're looking for about a half green, half brown stalk situation, and that's when you're gonna harvest your garlic. The next thing you need to know is variety selection. Now there's loads of varieties of garlic, but the two big types you're gonna need to know is hardneck and softneck garlic. So hardneck has a nice woody stem inside and is famous for producing garlic scapes. Garlic scapes can be delicious, edible. They are the garlic flower. You can take them and put them in pesto. They're so good. I like to just stir fry garlic scapes. So hardneck garlic, you get a little bonus crop by having those garlic scapes. Whereas softneck garlic doesn't produce those scapes, but a lot of times it produces larger bulbs and larger poundage of bulbs. But the hardneck garlic typically is a little spicier, more flavorful. But the key that you need to really know is what variety is going to thrive in your zone. Typically speaking, hardneck garlic varieties do best in colder climates. Softneck varieties do better in soft climates. Kind of like, the softneck, I like to say soft neck garlic is too soft to handle the cold. Like they're weak, they're soft. Those hardneck garlics, they're hard, they're tough. They can handle that cold. I, myself, very soft, very squishy, cannot handle the cold. Nah, that's why I live in the South, all right? So it's really important that you know the difference between hardneck and softneck garlic and pick a variety that suits you. Here in Zone 7A, I do experiment with growing a few varieties of hardneck garlics, and they do okay, but they do not thrive the way the softneck varieties grow. So I get a lot more poundage off of the softneck varieties, but I do love the flavors and the hardneck varieties. So I just grow some, even though they're not going to thrive as well. And then the last big thing that you're going to need to know is where do you source your garlic seed from? Now, a lot of videos come on the internet and they just literally are buying cloves of garlic from the grocery store. And that's technically fine, but not fine at all, in my opinion. Yes, they will probably grow, but what you need to know is you need to be ordering seed garlic, specific seed garlic from seed suppliers. And they're going to send you cloves of garlic, heads of garlic like this, but they're probably going to send you or give you the option to purchase premium garlic versus culinary garlic. So culinary garlic a lot of times is not actually the biggest garlic that a farm will produce. The biggest garlic a farm will produce is typically saved for seed and planted year after year to preserve the best genetics so that the bulb and the weight and the yield gets bigger and bigger every single year. So you're looking for nice, huge garlic cloves like this. Now, of course, this is elephant garlic, so it has an unrealistically gigantic garlic head. But as you can see, this is elephant garlic, and this variety right here is my culinary variety. It didn't make the cut because it's not big enough to be seed garlic. Now, I know that seems like earth-shattering, but as you can see, this garlic only has 3 total cloves, and it's very common for my elephant garlic to have 5, 6 of these gigantic cloves. So this was a really small chunk of garlic, and I'm using this in my kitchen, whereas I'm saving the seed garlic, which is the best quality garlic I have, that's already planted out in the ground. So it's really important that you order seed garlic so you're getting the best possible garlic cloves, because these garlic cloves, this giant garlic clove, is going to end up creating a gigantic garlic head in the spring. So the bigger the clove, typically the more large the head is going to be on the garlic. So that is what you're looking for. You're trying to breed up, and maybe you're looking for flavor. There's a lot of different attributes, but that's just a general rule of thumb to get the best garlic yield. Now, something worth noting, especially when you're talking about softneck garlics versus hardneck garlics, you're also considering what you want to grow that will last you for the season. So typically speaking, storage garlic, softneck garlics will do a lot better, in my opinion, than hardneck garlics will. So if you're looking to have your garlic year round and store garlic, softneck garlic is probably one of the best ways for you to go. Of course, you can still grow hardneck garlic. You just know that you're not going to have that supply as long, and sometimes it's harder to keep your garlic good for the next planting season. So just keep it in a cool, dark, damp-free, ideally not super moist environment, and you should have garlic all year long. And what's really crazy is each of these, every single little clove will produce a head of garlic. if properly cared for and taken care of. So since you can take one clove, and turn it into an entire head of garlic, smaller garlics, for example, the artichoke style garlics, they can have 20, 25 cloves on one head of garlic. And each of those will also put off 20, 25 cloves when planted, which makes garlic a really great return on investment for planting, because you can take one thing and it will multiply by 25 times. And all you have to do is put it in the ground and pull it back up in a couple months. I mean, literally, it's like if you burying money could return an investment, and all you had to do is you bury it and then pull it back up. And garlic is so great. It's great medicinally. It's delicious in food. Garlic, it's truly my favorite. I'm getting attacked. Did y'all just see that wasp attack me like that? Clearly, the wasp likes garlic too. I should have freaked out more. That seemed like pure assault. Anyway, this might be a great time to end the video because that was a little chaos. But if you have other questions about garlic, you can feel free to add them to the comments below. And like I said, we will do a video all about harvesting garlic in the spring. Oh, last little thing I want to touch on is garlic spacing. It's important that you give the garlic plenty of space in the ground, because remember, this is a root type vegetable, so it's going to grow underground. So give it the space it needs, a minimum of 6 inches apart from here. And then I like to do about a foot apart in my rows to make sure that the garlic has plenty of space. Obviously, the elephant garlic, which is a much bigger variety, needs even more space. So make sure your spacing is right. Make sure you're choosing hardneck or softneck garlics, whichever makes sense for your storage and usage needs, as well as what makes sense for your zone. Plant in the fall. We're not waiting to plant in the spring. If you want to plant a little small batch in the spring, I think that's fine for green garlic, etc. Go for it. But we're planting ours in the fall to create nice, gorgeous heads of storage garlic. And yeah, if you have questions about varieties, I would love to answer them for you. Let me just tell you some of my favorite varieties. First and foremost, it is this elephant garlic, which again is more of a leek. And then we also have chestnut red, which is definitely one of my favorites. So there's so many amazing varieties. Do some research on your own for what you might like. But yeah, that's how you grow garlic. And also, just a little sneak preview of how I react when assaulted by a wasp. So I'll see y'all next time. Yeah, have fun growing garlic.